Sorry, I wanted to grab something and I just remembered I didn't grab it. I do apologize. I am still half in my pajamas because we had asynchronous learning today due to snow, and we are not nearly in any situation like Texas and a lot of other places, so my thoughts do go out to all of you out there. I was honestly contemplating whether or not I should even go live because I feel kind of weird, but then I thought maybe some people might enjoy seeing some happiness, so that's why I end up going live. I did pluck out some Oso Ombre because I thought maybe I could fiddle around with that with this today. So today we're going to be using Oh Snap, which is super adorable. I am going to tell you full disclosure, I did already stamp some of this, so I want to show you a couple things I did. This unfortunately does not come with dies. I think it would be adorable if it did, but yeah. So if you want, you could fussy cut, which I'm going to show you what I did, because I also did a couple things ahead of time. I've done this once before as well with Stampin' Blends, and I die cut those. It's not terrifically difficult to die cut. You don't even have to do all the teeth or the, I guess this is, I don't know what this is supposed to be, because I don't think crocodiles have ridges on their back. So this is just, I guess, artistic embellishment. But anyway, you don't even have to cut all these little pieces out here. I did get a little bit closer with the teeth. And every time I've done this, I've cut off the eyebrows because they don't seem to fit what I've done. So I'm going to show you a couple things. Maybe 2 cards we'll make. I'll show you how I made one of the things I did. And then I just realized there's another way to make it easier if you use the Oso Ombre paper. And then I thought another fun thing would be, and I cannot remember the name of this die set, but this goes with, I think it's Tranquil Thoughts, but it goes with the Tranquil Thoughts dies or stamps. These are the dies that coordinate. Anyway, I thought this would be kind of neat to use this background. And I was kind of even thinking it might be pretty cool to use with the pearlized paper, because this paper is just lovely. I really love it. It's so pretty. So I do have another piece left here, because you probably could use a little bit or a lot, but maybe we'll die cut a piece since I have another whole 6x6 here, and see what this looks like and add a little something to it. So I don't know. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this card. I kind of have a slight plan, but not really. I was kind of going for a little bit of emulation of what they've done in the catalog here. To me, this almost looks like the Crackle background, but I can't remember if we still have that background stamp. Or, I don't think we do. I'm pretty sure it's retired. Or you could also, to me, what this looks like is if you ran this through your Subtles embossing folder, because it has some texture to it. So what I did, I will show you, and then I'll show you another way you could do it, but I think it's very cute. I also like it stamped just as is down here on a box, which would be adorable as well. I think you could also pair this with the flamingos if you stamped them correctly and actually added the stamped images, unlike what I did that one time when I just die cut them and colored them in and they looked goofy. That's just me and my silliness. I think this also would look really nice with the beach stamp set. I think you would have a lot of really great, I'm sorry, I don't have this catalog marked like my other one is. This is the dies, Tranquil dies. But I think that the beachy stamp set it would look really nice with, because you could incorporate a lot of the other elements, maybe some of the sayings. Now, I know this one, Au Croc, is a little bit more playful and fun with the sentiments, which I do really like about it. But I think you could certainly bring in some of the other sentiments. And I do think that the flamingo would be really cool with this too. So you could probably incorporate some of those together. But anyway, what we are mainly focusing on is this really cool card here. It's pretty simple. It has, looks like Mango Melody in the background, and I'm thinking that's probably Mango Melody. It looks like brush strokes, and you probably could recreate this with the Stampin' Blend, so maybe we'll do that. Then they just have a little piece of Misty Moonlight is my guess. Kind of looks like a little bit of torn paper. You don't even need a full strip. You could use a little piece on the top and bottom. So we're going to try to make something similar to this, and then we're going to do maybe another one. I'm hoping we have time. In case you need to shop, we do have a host code here. So if there's anything you'd like to get, I'm going to set this on the side, so hopefully I remember to use this with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the way I did this first, and then I'm going to show you another way. So as you can see, I had a whole other color scheme going on here, and it was horrible. I mean, so horrible, I turned it over and was kind of able to save it. So I'm going to show you what I did. And I'm just going to use the back of this so I don't ruin that fresh piece there. But basically what I did is I grabbed Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to open that one, and Just Jade. And just full disclosure, I did use the same brush for both of these colors. And what I did was I just made sure that I rubbed the brush clean as best as I thought it would be before I moved on. So I did go from lighter to darker. And also I do not have my iPad, so I apologize. I will check the comments when we're finished. I usually watch them as we go along, but it was downstairs for school today and I forgot to bring it up. So my apologies for that. If I don't catch you, I will go back and look. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the blender brushes. So these are something new that Stampin' Up! Carries. You may already have some. They do come 3 in a pack, so you will get 3. Obviously, you know this isn't a new tool. Probably everybody else may have one of these, but I do like the size of the head is really nice. I am going to start kind of off the paper, and I just kind of went random. And I'm just going to re-ink again. One other thing I wanted to tell you that I thought was kind of nice about this is if you need to re-ink your ink pad, and if you might not have one of my fabulous tools handy to smush down the ink once you've added it, I joke when I say that in case you don't know. The blender brush actually is really good for kind of pressing the ink into it. So you could also kind of do a 2-step where you re-inked your stamp and then you use your blender brush to press the ink into it. And it kind of does like a 2-fold job for you. So again, that was some Granny Apple Green to start. So that was one, and I'll just go a little bit more, and then I'm just going to kind of blend this back and forth, go all the directions. I just finished up my 6th card for my new In Good Taste, so again, Just Jade, In Good Taste Club. And that is kind of for February. My clubs are kind of running end to month, so I hate to categorize them with a month, but it's like February to March. By the time you get it, it will probably be March. But I did all of my cards or fun folds this month. And In Good Taste was my, and I know I have a little blob here, but the way we're going to stamp it, it won't matter. But In Good Taste was my main suite that I used, and I kind of added some other stuff to it. But really fun. You can just purchase the PDF and video if you want. And you can purchase that no matter where you are, if you're in a different country or not, because it's all online. And I actually today added links for my blog. And I have a little smudge here, see if I can fix that. So there is a button on my blog if you're interested in those. Okay, so again, that was Just Jade. So I'm just kind of wiping this until it's pretty much doesn't look like ink is coming off any longer. So then I grabbed my shaded spruce and I inked up my, guess we're saying this guy's a crocodile, alligator or crocodile, like so. But the other one is available as well, which is well suited. Well suited. I keep calling it that. Well suited. Lord have mercy. I cannot speak. Okay, so I inked him up with shaded spruce. And I'm just going to kind of pick a spot where I like. And just stamp him. Just like so. Just make sure you get a nice inking. That looks good. Let me just wipe this off. I've been using my Stampin' Scrub, because I feel like it's been getting in the grooves a little bit better than my chamois was doing. I think I just need to personally retire the chamois that I have because I've had it for so long and move on, but you know about old habits. So now I am not going to make you suffer through watching me fussy cut this. However, I will show you. It does work pretty well with the snips. So I do kind of try to stay just outside the edge. And then I kind of will move. And some people may be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. It really doesn't take too long to cut it out, being honest, because I just was cutting it in between playing Wii games. So anyway, I went along and cut this guy out. And here is what he ended up looking like. So I didn't cut in between here. You could if you wanted to. You will notice I did remove his eyebrows. The only place I did cut was the teeth. And what I did, I kind of saved one to show you, is I went down one side with one, so all one side with one. And then I went the other way for the other one. So I went all the other way, and most of them, except for this one, of course. Come on, you bugger. Oh my goodness. Most of them popped right out. So I think just the teeth being cut looked pretty good. So this is one. Now, another way you could do that if you didn't want to go through this whole inking process is, because just looking at this in the catalog, what you could do is you could use this. This is the Oso Ombre paper. So this is the Granny Apple Green side. And then if you felt like you wanted to add a little something to it, like say you wanted it a little bit greener in spots, you could take your Just Jade and maybe just kind of go over it in a couple areas to make it a little bit darker. Have like a little bit of shade variances in it. You don't really need anything major. And again, you probably could almost you could definitely get 2 crocs out of here if you positioned it correctly. So we'll go with that. And for this one, I'm going to do it in Just Jade, just so it's not strikingly dark, since it's not quite as dark as my other one. So we'll ink this in Just Jade. And I want to show you one other thing I did too. As a matter of fact, I forgot when I was finished that first one. What I did is I stamped it. So you kind of pick a spot where you want to stamp it. And then I even took this and I kind of just softened the edges of that. And I kind of spread a little bit of the ink around as well. So then you could do the same thing and go through with your scissors and trim it. And quite honestly, they're not really that far off. So I think this one has a little bit more, just a darker variance because of the Just Jade, but I think they look pretty good. So here we have our croc. So I'm just going to stick with him. And let me just wipe this so I don't forget. Okay, so we pop these back up. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to put him on the side for now. I'm going to keep this piece up here because I'm going to do something with the mango. So we will do a mango card. I already have a base, so I'm just using what I already have instead of cutting it the other direction, because you could have. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is 4 1/4. Nope. See, so let me trim this down to 4 1/4. And we will score it at 5 1/2. Okay. Now I'm not going to burnish this yet. That way I can kind of make it a little bit more even. And while we're at it, I'm just going to grab, where is it? Just going to grab a little scrap of my Misty Moonlight. So I just have a little piece, so we'll just use that and kind of see what it looks like for that other portion that's in the background. So you can see my score line's about here. So I'm just going to go just a little bit. And then I will take, where is it? My dark Mango Melody. Now you could be very precise with this if you want. So you could take your ruler. And I'm just going to kind of take it just so I have like an idea of where I want to start. So I'm just going to make some fat lines. And then that looks about good. For the next one, I'll kind of just brushing it. I'm trying to use more of the wide portion of it, not the tip. And I'm not really trying to be straight. So those little waves, I'm doing that on purpose. I know that first one was straight. We'll do another one straight down here just to kind of throw off the pattern. And then another one at the bottom we'll do straight. I feel like this one needs another pass because it's kind of light. So again, this was the dark Mango Melody. So you just have a little pattern there. Nothing terrifically fancy. All right, so we have that. We have our croc. And then I have my blue. So this is Misty Moonlight. So what I'm going to do in order to get that torn edge, I'm just going to rip across. It doesn't have to be huge. So we could either use this side or we could use the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear down the middle. see. Can probably use this other piece. I am going to trim these up a little bit because I don't want them to be hanging over, obviously. So I'm just going to rip, kind of give an eyeball of where I want it to go. Be good enough for that one. And up here, we'll say, I'm kind of trying to rip up though, so I have that edging. The other thing you could do if you want to add a little bit too is you can always sponge the edge of this with your with a sponge, or what you can do, and we'll just do it like this since we already have it out, and I had a blue one. I'll just use my purple. Obviously I need to order more of these, but I'm just going to use this brush and a little bit, I don't want to be too heavy, just a little bit of Misty Moonlight. We'll kind of go on the edge. The Misty Moonlight, if you use it with this brush, it can be really, really dark. So you got to kind of try to, oh, that make a nice mountain too. You got to kind of try to not make it too dark. So it'll just give us a little bit of variances when we put our layers together. All right, so there are those two. Okay. And it kind of looks like they have a little piece, probably, we'll say it might be 3.5 by 5. It does look pretty small. Let me see what this looks like on here. That's probably about right because this goes above it. Might have to try. I'm going to trim this down just a smidge because it's almost just a little too big. So this is definitely 3.5 by 5. Am I right? 3 3/4 by 5. Oops. I'm going to go down to 3.5 by 4 3/4. Just so it's a little bit smaller. And then what we can do is take, you have the little flower. Oh, they did the little bird too. I have to show you what one of my birds looks like. I did do one. So isn't it cute? I actually did this one with the Stampin' Blend. So we can use this one and then I'll see if I can remember exactly what it is I did. So we have the little flower and it looks like they did, oh, it almost looks like, craziest part is I thought there was a dragonfly, but it's just this flower. So it's just the little flower, which is adorable. And we'll do this in Mango. And I'm going to show you what I mean with this. I just recently inked this, but it's a little bit wonky. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp just randomly. Hope you guys can't hear them down there hooting at the Wii. Just kind of bring it in a couple places. You could probably go to Daffodil Delight too if this was a little too much for what you wanted to do. Put one over here. So I'm going to show you what I was talking about with the whole blending. So when you re-ink this, especially this color for me, I don't know, the pad is a little bit wonky, and I know that's a weird term to use, but I'm going to show you what I do. So you take your re-inker. I'm just going to do a couple because this one seems, I must use this way more than I think I do. So I have my color. So if you don't have these blending brushes or anyone in particular, basically what I usually do is I'll take the back of a spoon, and I did find out the craziest part. I want to show you this while I'm at it because that'll take a second anyway. If you spray this with a little bit of the Stampin' Mist, this spoon will come almost completely back to white again, which I thought was kind of amazing. So just in case you're really worried about using the same spoon, I use the same spoon for everything except white and black, now that I think about it. So, but I use it for all the other colors. So you either press this in, or the other thing you can do is you could take your brush and make sure this is pretty clean. And what I do is just press the ink, and it kind of pushes the ink in, and it almost massages your pad, which this sounds so ridiculous saying it out loud, right? Back to kind of it's when they sent it to you. I've noticed this with another color that I used. So it kind of presses the ink down into there and it distributes it a little better, especially if you're going to be specifically blending anyway. So that's another thing you can do. Whoops, almost got my bird. So I'm going to just go over this in a couple spots. They kind of have like this little soft glow to these little flowers. Now, one other thing I want to tell you is when I originally did this, I did this on pads, and goodness, this looks horrifically messy now, but I did this on pads that I had dropped the drops into, and I didn't push them in with the spoon because I was being a little bit lazy. So they had a chance to soak into the pad, whereas this one I just freshly did it. So I've never used it fresh like I just did, which it does seem it's like a little bit messy. So, but just FYI, in case you haven't heard of or used the spoon technique, that's another little thing for you to do. So a couple of these got a little bit light because of the ink was super wet when I blended it. I'm going to just stamp that one more time. Just that one. So we have that. We have our brush. I'm going to clean this one out. But the other thing we're going to do is we'll add, and I'll stick with the Misty Moonlight since we already used that color. And I just want to get a little bit of the ink off that before I set it down. And then what I'm going to do is we will do Sending a Big Smile. It's your birthday, Sending a Big Smile, because I think those are really, really cute. So here's Sending a Big Smile. I mean, they have them labeled, and I still can't find them sometimes. I don't know. I think that means I should be wearing my glasses. All right, so we have our two little sentiments. I'm going to grab my Misty Moonlight. And let me just kind of figure where I'm going to put it. We'll kind of go with like the same-ish theme. It's your birthday. Sending a Big Smile. And I think it's really cute. You probably could go with something brighter if you wanted to do Pacific Point. I bet would look really, really good with that as well, just because it would be a big bright pop. So I have my two of those. This, get rid of these little extra pieces to save that because it has my directions for a card on the back of it. I recycled that from the week before. All right, so I think we're good. So let's put this together. I'm trying not to touch that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adhere this probably to the bottom. I'm going to take a little bit more of this off. So that's a reason I like to look at it before I put it on there, because it might be a little bit too big. Okay. We'll do that. All right, so I'm going to grab my liquid glue and put just a little bit, trying to get the very end out of this. This is one of the ones that I think I gooped up because I wasn't using it very often. All right, so that's about kind of centered. It doesn't have to be perfect. We are not aiming for perfect here whatsoever. And there's my top piece. This one I feel like I want to take a little bit more off of the underneath. Only because I don't need it, so I just want to lose a little bit of the bulk of it. Put this one up here. Okay, so just a little bit. Oh, and the reason I like using liquid glue is because it gives you that edge that if you want to move it around a little bit, you can. And I still want to bring a little bit of this off. Just a little bit too long. And you can kind of work with this as you go too. If there's something that you don't like, you can kind of curl it up on itself. Lots of different things you can do. And then I'm going to put it on, you know what? I'm going to put this down and I'm going to put the crocodile up on dimensionals. So let me put this down. Let me put some glue here. And I'm going to use a good amount because it does have these couple little additional layers. Just like that. Hopefully someone downstairs will answer the phone. There we go. And then a couple dimensionals. I'm at the end of my pack here, so I will spread these out a little bit. And this is going to work perfect because I have these two little pieces for the mouth. I think that should work. And one more little, there we go. Okay, so then I'm going to just pull pull these off. Rainbow Stamper, you'd think he's getting a trophy at the end of whatever game it is he's playing. He's so excited. He does love to go bowling, so we were doing bowling on Wii. My Wii is very, very, very old. Still works pretty well. We lost one of the joysticks, but other than that, it works really well. Oh, I'm going to move him down just a smidge. I think that looks good. But anyway, he came upstairs. He was so excited. He got two strikes. He's ready to join the, I don't even know, what do you call the Professional Bowling Association, I think might sound about right. All right, so I have one. I think I'm going to put my bird. I think I want to pop the bird up just a little bit. So I have one dimensional I think should fit. Let me see. I think I might have to snip this in half because, of course, I grabbed the dark dimensionals instead of the lighter ones, but I think that's okay. Let me go half on this one. Here. Lordy be. Hear him down there rumbling around. So we did get snow today. I was telling you we had virtual, but we got snow and then we got about 2 inches of sleet and freezing rain on top of it. So there was no sledding today, unfortunately. And it's really messy. And they've already said we're having virtual for school tomorrow. And I feel so bad for the Rainbow Stamper because that boy loves to be in school. And I am just not meant to be his teacher. More than I've already taught him. Let's say that, right? So, cute card, right? Super, super, super. Yeah. Plus, bowling on Wii, you always feel like an amazing bowler as opposed to... I mean... I grew up in Dundalk, which there was a lot of bowling in Dundalk. If anyone on here is watching from where I grew up, they will agree with me that there definitely is a lot of bowling. However, we loved bowling, but also we have duck pin bowling, which are really small bowling balls. So we never use the big bowling balls. We use the little bowling balls, which are super fun and way easier for kids to be able to use. But he insists on still picking it up. But man, if you could see him throw a bowling ball, I think I've posted some pictures before. It is quite hilarious, to put it mildly. So, all right. So there is one card. That one's pretty fun. So what I'm going to try is I want to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to try this. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. So again, this is the pearlescent paper. So I'm going to pop this right up to the edge like that. I'm just going to put a little piece of purple tape just to kind of hold it somewhat in place. And I'm going to run this through my machine. And since it's pretty detailed, I'm going to go back and forth, okay? And then I'll show you what we're going to do from there. I don't know if what I want to do is going to work or not, so we'll kind of have to see. But it might be cute. Okay, so you end up, and it comes out really nicely if you go back and forth with this paper. What I should have done is put some adhesive sheet on the back of this. That would have been smart, but it comes out really, really beautifully. So what if we overlaid this with the bubbles and then the croc? I'm thinking that might be a kind of a cute card, right? So this is, I believe, Bermuda Bay. So again, this one makes it's a little corner one. It's really, really fun to use. And then what I'm going to do is, and I might have to fussy cut that other croc. I guess I could use my other one, but we'll see. So I want to cut this to, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to just lay it? I feel like if I lay it over, I feel like I might need to have a darker part. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So I'm going to do 4 by 5 1/4. I'm trying to keep more of the darker part of the ombre down here at the bottom. So we'll go like that. And I know this is a little bit bigger, but that way it'll give us something to kind of lay it on. And we can always save this little piece. Maybe we can use it for the inside. So that is the Oso Ombre paper, which is, I believe, is still free during Celebration. I'm fairly certain we have not run out of that yet. I'm hoping that I'm not wrong. And I don't know what this will look like. Let's just take a peek on that, and then we'll have a green pop. Okay, I think I'm going to use Bermuda Bay because I think it's going to look super well, what I'm aiming for is that it's very vivid. So I have Bermuda Bay. Let me just trim this one out. So we do want this to be a tall card. So I'm going to score this at 5.5 and then turn it and cut it at 4 1/4. So now I have 2 card bases, just in case you're new. Maybe you've not seen card bases before. So we'll put this one here, and then we'll do our little pearlescent paper leafy scene. And I'm going to show you what I did. So for this croc, you can see he is pretty detailed. I actually did him with the Stampin' Blends. So he would be kind of cute on there too. And what I would like to do is somehow figure out a way, and I should have done this ahead of time, that I could have done a little flap and you could have lifted it, but I didn't do my measuring correctly now. So if I do that, I'm going to have to do a little thinking. What I can tell you is I did use Granny Apple Green. I used, believe it or not, light shaded spruce. And I think I used a little bit of Just Jade, but I also used a little bit of light, no, it wasn't light, dark Call Me Clover. That, I just kind of popped that in with these little bumps. So if you have the Call Me Clover, that was a really nice one on there too. But let me take a think, because I'm trying to figure how we could do. And I don't really necessarily need it that it's going to be like a pop-up flap. Probably could do a little something. All right, I'm sitting here having a think. Loving these cards. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. And I'm wondering, I might be making this like too much. It would be kind of fun if you could do a little pull-out slider too. But that's going to take quite a lot of thinking. So I might have to make this as kind of a plainish card, and then we'll have to make a stepped up version when I have some time to construct and think of a way to make it that it's a little bit more interactive. Oh, this would be a good one too. You could say, sorry, I snapped at you. Let's do that. That's fun. Because I probably need to send a lot of those cards out. Because I'm a little extra snappy lately. All right, so we're going to do that. And what do I need? A little block. I'm going to try to line this up so I could do it in one swoop. Let's see. Nice part about these is even if I don't, I can line them up. I think I'm going to do them in 2 different ones, because otherwise they might not be close as I want them to be. So I'm going to grab just a little scrap of Whisper White or Basic White or whatever it is we're calling it these days, because sometimes I can't remember. And you know what I'm going to do? I just want to show you. I'm going to do the Pacific Point, because I think that'll be really nice. So I'm going to ink this up. Sorry. And then I have the I snapped at you, and I'm going to just stamp it underneath and see where I want it to be. Pardon if I put my head in here. Oh, that turned out perfectly. All right, so sorry I snapped at you. What did I have out earlier that I wanted to use? That was so cute. Ooh, let me check. See if there's anything I could use for this one. Nah, that one's not going to work exactly what I wanted. Okay. This one's a really cute one. I like it a lot. This is actually for the thing that I'm using coming up. Maybe a little bit. That's going to be good enough. So this is the In Good Taste Suite, Tasteful Touches. And I can never remember what the name of these darn dies are, but I'm going to try the small one because I think it should fit. Let's see. Sometimes it looks like you're going to cut letters off, but since it's stitched on both sides, it ends up working out. I'm hoping that's the case with this one. And look at that, it's perfect. So it looked like it wasn't going to be, and I just realized I cut up a little bird, but oh well, that's okay. So there's that. And if you wanted to, you could even pop this up onto like a piece of Granny Apple Green if you wanted to bring like the next layer of that in, but we'll see. I think it might be okay like this because I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So I'm just going to reinforce this score. All right, so if this goes here, and this one will go here, and we're kind of having him be like that. We're going to put that right there. Sorry, oh, this, you know what this is? You know what this needs? What does this need? This needs a wobbler. Because then, hold on, I'm trying to remember where I put them. Because then they'll know you're really sorry if you send them a card that has a wobbler on it. Daggone it. Where'd I put my wobblers? Okay, well, we might have to pretend this has a wobbler on it because I feel like if I pull it out now, I might cause a disastrous catastrophe. Because clearly, I don't know where I put them. Here they are. Right in front of me. Wobbler. All I got to say is thank you to Donna for turning me on to these because I think these are one of the most fun inventions I have ever worked with. They are ridiculous. I love them. All right, so I'm going to put my wobbler onto my sentiment. That way, once I get everything situated, I can figure out where I want it. So just giving that a really good press. And then, oh, that'll be so fun. Okay. I'm so ridiculous sometimes. Thanks, guys, for joining me today because this has made me really happy to be able to do some crafting. I'm going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella right to the teeth. Look at me. I said nothing says I'm sorry like a wobbler card. Oh my goodness gracious. I am ridiculous. Okay, so you can see we have another nice side to this, but this is Rococo Rose. So this one will be retiring not too long from now. So if Rococo Rose is your favorite color, unlike me, you should make sure you get your refill. However, I do always buy my refill when I buy my ink pad because I learned that very hard lesson, and I have never, ever made that mistake again on eBay many, many years ago. I didn't buy the refills when we had Strawberry Slush. Still, Coastal Cabana, I feel like was one. Yep. I'm looking at them right now. Crisp Cantaloupe, Pistachio Pudding, and Baked Brown Sugar. Love those colors. It was before I knew better, and I did not buy the refills. So I want to figure out how I want to put this because I don't want to glue this down yet until I figure this out. Or should we put him like this? I think it's better when he's hidden. And you totally don't have to use the pearlescent paper for this. If you want to use a green, but I think it's very pretty. It kind of, you know, shows off the white a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on my little friend here, TikTok. Which whenever I think of TikTok Croc, or crocodiles, I should say, I do think of TikTok Croc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down, because this is pretty much going to go to the edge. And then I'm going to kind of decide where I'm going to stick him. So it's going to be kind of like that. And while he's still mobile, I'm going to make sure he's not too hidden. And I think he's a little bit too hidden, so I want to bring him out a little bit. Just a little bit more up. No, he might be where he is. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do the same with this. So liquid glue, I could have also been really smart and used adhesive sheet. It would have been much easier for this. That way I didn't have to worry about all these little moves and grooves I'm trying to get into. But I don't want it to be gushing, so I'm trying not to be too heavy-handed. You could use the fine tip glue pen, but I'm going to be quite honest with you. That glue pen frustrates me, so that's why I don't use it that often. It's great in theory, but I like liquid glue much better personally. You could also do a sponge where you take some glue, dip it in the sponge, which I do have a sponge just for that, and then you dip it onto the back. That's another really good tip. So I'm going to press this down, see where I want it. I might have to trim just that teeny little bit off of the top up there. Just making sure it's lined up to the sides. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim just a smidge off here, but that's okay. And if the whole thing doesn't sit flat, it doesn't necessarily have to because you want it to have a little bit of depth to it. And I did smudge this when I pressed it down. So, you know, in typical Rachel fashion, I hurried. So I'm going to press this. And there you have your little wobbler. So cute. Oh my God, I can't stand it. And I'm going to put a little bit more on him, just kind of in a little bit of various places. And then you also have a nice shimmer from the pearlescent paper. I really hope that stuff sticks around because that is just adorable. It is so beautiful. I'm going to have to take this over. I'm just going to trim off this teeny little bit here. Just like that. And there you go. So again, this one I did use with the blends. So I can tell you 100% for sure. I used Granny Apple Green, which why can I not find my Granny Apple Green all of a sudden? I used Dark Call Me Clover, Light Shaded Spruce, wherever my Granny Apple Green disappeared to. Here it is. I used both of those, the Granny Apple Green. I used a little bit of the Light Just Jade as well. And you have to stamp that in Memento ink because you want to make sure that it doesn't bleed because this is an alcohol marker. And if you don't, then it will bleed. So really, really cute. You could always add something else. There's lots of other really fun little additives. You could put, like, stamp a little frog and cut it out and put it on the outside if you wanted to. But it does have a lot of really, really great sentiments in it. So I also like the Jungle Wishes and Crocodile Kisses is another really cute one as well. So I hope you guys, let me just clear this out in case you want to take a little glimpse. I hope you enjoyed this card. I'm definitely going to add this also. I'm going to do a white panel and add this to the inside of the card just because it'll give it a little something. If we had a little leftover piece of this, another thing you could do with the blue is you could just put a little bit of blue that it looked like maybe like a little tiny lake because they do have some ripples. So you could stamp this on. I don't know if you necessarily would want to use that dark. Maybe in that case you could use Seaside Spray as the card color and then stamp it with the Misty Moonlight, and then you could have the fish jumping out of the pond on the inside. That would be really, really cute as well. I think that would be absolutely adorable. Hold on, I'm going to do that just because. Let's finish that one at least. Let's see. This is it. Yeah. So let's do this. And really, you don't even have to do that. You could even do it with just the water. Let me grab the fish. We'll put that. We'll do them first, and I'm gonna just stick with mango. They'll be goldfish jumping out of a pond. Okay. And whoops. Here's our pond. That should fit pretty. Actually, I think this is upside down. Okay, so I'm going to do this in Seaside Spray, and then I'm going to add, there's a couple other little ripples I'm going to add with the Misty Moonlight. And I'm not sure if they are or aren't meant to line up, but for mine, they are. So that one was It's Your Birthday, Sending a Big Smile, right? Yeah, so that's kind of, we don't want to overload it with too much other stuff, but you could always add the frog in there if you wanted to. And then we'll just put this, which is kind of nice because you added the same colors to the inside that you had on the outside. Cute. Oops. Smudgy finger. There you go. Little smudge. Did it down here too. Gotta get this girl away from the cards before she ruins them all. So there are your two cards. Let me just smooth this down again since I opened that up. There we go. So it stays nice and crisp. Sorry I snapped at you. Adorable. Again, I will put a white panel and add this to the inside, but I probably won't stamp something else on there. I'll probably leave it blank. That way I can write in it and send my apology to whoever it was that I probably yelled at in the past week because it's been several people. Need to get my attitude in check. Oh my Lord. Well, I thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a little something new with this. If you would like, I have, again, that card tutorial. It is not completely finished yet because I do have to finish doing the PDFs. Almost finished with those. So that's wrapping up. Oops. If you have any questions about it, you can always send me an email at rachthestamper@gmail.com. If you like this video and you're on Facebook, you can give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And again, I will do my best to check the comments here with Facebook. Facebook can be a little weird though. After you answer so many comments, it doesn't let you answer them for a while because it thinks that you're, I don't know, spamming or something like that. So if I don't answer your comment necessarily right away and you have a question about something, please feel free to send me an email. I can definitely email those or answer those rather quickly. If you're watching this on YouTube for the replay, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you could certainly give me a thumbs up because that always helps. If you would like to get any of the products that I shared today, they are all available in my online store 24/7. No mask or clothes required to shop there. You can shop at rachthestamper.stampinup.net. And if I don't see you guys before then, which we will be virtual tomorrow, but I'm not sure what kind of situation I'll be able to be in with adding in a stamping day, so I can't promise anything. I will see you on Saturday for sure. And on Saturday, since I was live today on Facebook, I will be live on YouTube. So you can find me there if you have never gone there before at Rach the Stamper. And you can find me Rach the Stamper for YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram. My blog is rachthestamper.com, so you can pretty much find everything that I've done there. Although I did find that I am a little bit behind in my blogging, so please forgive me for that. I will catch up shortly. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.